Hello, everyone. A very good morning and welcome to our session, pre-departure session of Australia, joining with our Australasia team who is here with us today. And we have still participants who are walking in, more than 50 already, and we are going live on YouTube and Facebook as well. I will not take much time as I introduce our Australasia team, Amrita, who will start off with the proceedings today. Everybody will have their own set of questions, which we are happy to take at the end of the session. Amrita, I hope you're ready.
Sure.
And we can start moving as I accept students who are still walking in, but we will go ahead with that. Over to you, Amrita.
Thank you so much, Thinuk. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today through webinar and through different social channels, as Thinuk mentioned. My name is Amrita Chauhan, IDP Onshore Australia, New Zealand Destination Manager, supporting our onshore and IDP network students. We work very closely with our IDP Sri Lanka team to make sure our international students have seamless onshore study experience once you arrive in Australia. So if you're coming to Australia, please rest assured we will be here to support you. Now, we all were waiting for this moment of Australia border opening news, and we are so excited, ready to welcome you on shore. These last 2 years have been quite tough for all of us, and it's time really to fly, experience what Australia has to offer: a great lifestyle, most importantly, safe environment, welcoming communities, and globally recognized quality education. So with me today, I have my onshore team. Moving on to the next slide, Summer. Thank you. So myself, Summer Fang, our destination coordinator, senior counselor from IDP Melbourne team. So if you're coming to Melbourne, you're going to see Summer over there. Then we have got Neetu Hunjan, again, extensive counseling experience, our operations manager for IDP Sydney. Then we have got Alice Kwan, our senior migration expert working with IDP Melbourne team. Zoe Hassan, our senior counselor with IDP Brisbane. And then Vaishali Jan working with IDP Melbourne, again, counselor expert. So if you're coming to Melbourne, you're going to see Vaishali over there. So these are our presenter and topics we will be covering today: IDP onshore team and services. So a bit about IDP onshore team, so you know where to come and how to access those services. Australia state-wise update, vaccination, travel updates, and then what to pack and expect, what are the important documents to carry, what are the rules and regulation around travel. So we'll cover that information, health and well-being support, onshore welcome pack, how to access that pack. So we have prepared an exclusive pack for you to settle you down in the destination to how to access that pack. Then we will also cover our services, migration support, upcoming events. We have got an exclusive event designed for an international students who are about to come here. So we'll talk about that event. And lastly, our contact details and social channels, so you can follow us for latest information. So moving on to IDP onshore team and services. So we have 6 offices across Australia. As you can see on the slide, we are in Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Parramatta, Perth, and Sydney. And if you see the slide background picture, that's our Sydney office reception area. So that's our IDP Sydney office. Then moving on to the next one, our address and contact details. Obviously, you've seen in the previous picture, but we will share at the end again. Now, we do provide value-added services to our students, that is our IDP students, network students, serviced by our offshore offices. So once you arrive onshore, we make sure you're looked after very well. Now, talking about onshore services, how we support our network students, we provide free counseling services. Again, onshore-friendly counselors speak different range of languages to support our students coming from offshore. We also run frequent in-house information sessions. So if you do have to speak to the universities or providers directly for whatever reasons, we will be able to support you with those kind of events. Then we run regular social engagement events to help you to meet new friends and settle down in this destination. So cherry picking, dance night, festival celebration, laser tag are some of the activities which we run for our international students. And the upcoming one is on 19th March, which is designed exclusive for the students who are going to come for February intake. So we'll talk about more in our next slide. Regular career seminar, CV writing, I think this is quite important. So once you arrive on shore, how to prepare CV, what sort of internship options are there? So we support our IDP students with those products as well. Then we also support with free student visa services. So if you do have to extend student visa for any reasons, or if there was any deferment went offshore, you're studying online, you do need to extend further visa or apply new visa, we will be able to support with that part as well. Assistant to high school students, again, if you're a high school student studying over there for high school, need any support with further admission with the university, we'll be able to support you. Health insurance advice, policy renewal, banking services, payment solution, we support with that part as well. We do have a dedicated team that supports students with this kind of information. So again, we'll be able to give you that information. Lastly, most important, migration services. Again, nothing like that when we have our own migration agent who can really support you with post-study work visa information or migration information. So again, don't hesitate, and you don't have to worry to find a new one. Again, this process can be overwhelming. So we are there to support you with that part as well. Now let's have a quick look on our IDP team. Moving on to the next slide. So you can see on the slide our migration team. So that's Alice, who is with us today. She's going to present and talk about working rights. Then we have got Janet from IDP Sydney, and we also got Shiva from IDP Adelaide office. Our team is expanding, but this is some of the information which can help you to connect with our current migration agents. Now let's move on to, okay, so you can see on the screen our Sydney office. That's our Sydney, lovely Sydney team. Details are given on the right side. Again, we have got two offices, main office in Sydney CBD, and Neetu is from our Sydney team. And then we have got Parramatta office as well. Moving on to the next one, that's our lovely Melbourne team. Contact details are there. So if you're coming to Melbourne, that's the team you're going to engage with. And then moving on to the next one, Brisbane team. So we've got Zoe today on the panel from IDP Brisbane. So if you have any questions related to Queensland, you can get in touch with Zoe. And then moving on to the next one, that's our Adelaide team. Again, Adelaide, 20-minute city, very close community. So that's our Adelaide team, and contact details are given. Lastly, our Perth team. Again, we have got counselors, very experienced counselor in our Perth team. So if you're going to WA, that'll be the counselors who are going to help you. Lastly, we are also in New Zealand. So again, if in future you need any support with New Zealand and Auckland, so we do have a team over there to look after our international students. Now I will hand it over to Sama, our destination coordinator. She will talk about some travel updates, so you are aware what to pack and expect on arrival. Sama, over to you. Thank you.
Yep, sure. Thank you so much, Amrita. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Summer, and I'm the Senior Education Counselor and Destination Coordinator based in Melbourne. I have been living in Australia for many, many years. So today I'm really glad to share with you guys some of the COVID updates, vaccination updates, and travel restriction as well. So yeah, for this first page, as you can see, because the COVID update changes quite quickly. So the first thing I would love to show is how to find the updated information. So you can find information on covid19.homeaffairs.gov.au. And you can quickly take a photo by your phone or review the website link for any further update in the future. And in the next few slides, I will mainly talk about the COVID-19 vaccination and state travel updates, as well as what you should prepare while traveling, as Amrita mentioned before. So for the vaccination update, I checked the data this morning, and the government has published the data until 25th of January. As we can see on the graph, Victoria, New South Wales, ACT, Tasmania, South Australia have achieved about 90% of the fully vaccination rate. Queensland is also almost reaching 90%, followed by Northern Territory and Western Australia. So yeah, the vaccination rate is still increasing. So please stay tuned, and we believe that the high vaccination rate is going to happen very soon for all the states. And the next one I'm going to talk about is the vaccination updates. So I actually have three groups of the different types of the students. So the first type is for the international student who would like to travel to Australia. And I have listed what vaccinations that TGA approved. And also the second one is for the vaccines we've approved for use in Australia, mainly for the people who are already in Australia. So these are like Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Janssen, and Novavax. So I also put the the link for the further information I believe the lists are still growing in the future. Like I mentioned on the presentation, it already changed quite a few of types of the vaccination already. So just please refer back to the website for further information. And also for the next one, I'm going to talk about is the state travel restriction updates. So let's just have a look at the first one. It's for New South Wales, Victoria, ACT, South Australia, and Queensland. So these states must take the PCR or the rapid antigen test, which we call RAT, within 24 hours after you arrive and wait for the result while you're staying at the accommodation. So for further information, please have a look at the link as well, so that you can have the more update information. Okay, so the next state I'm going to talk about is Northern Territory and Tasmania. So for Northern Territory, no quarantine requirement. A RAT within 2 hours once you arrive, it's compulsory. Then another RAT on day 3 and day 6. And for Tasmania, no quarantine requirement, and you don't need to undertake any pre-departure COVID-19 testing prior to arrival if you're fully vaccinated as well for the Tasmania restriction. So for WA, Western Australia, it's a little bit different. So there are 2 types of the students. So one is for the new students. So at the moment, the information is not still confirmed yet. As you know, the government actually changed about the date. So please stay tuned. And once we got the updated information, then we will update you soon. And for the returning student, they may only enter Western Australia if the student has approved COVID-19 vaccination. They also have the accepted proof of vaccination to a relevant officer on request, or any other conditions on the returning students directions number 2. So I also attach about the regulation and also the direction as well on the presentation, so that you can maybe check that later on. And please be mindful that for the returning student, it is mandatory to quarantine for 14 days at the government allocated location. And also, once you arrive, you need to get the testing done on the first day and also the 12th day of the quarantine. So now let's talk about the COVID test. At the moment, we have 2 types of the test. One is called RAT that I mentioned before, and the other one is the PCR test. The following information that I provided to you actually has come directly from the Department of Home Affairs. And as you can see from the PM, our Prime Minister, announced on the 5th of January. So PCR tests will not be required after a positive RAT. And also anyone who tests positive, if you're not feeling well, they actually encourage you to contact the GP. It's a general practitioner for the support. But for your information, I also attached the PCR link so that you can find about the PCR location in different states. Okay, so for the RAT, let's have a look at on the right-hand side, which is a rapid antigen test. So for the international travelers, they are able to bring their own RAT, the rapid antigen test, to Australia using the following guidance. So first of all, the test must only be those brands approved by our TGA, of which you can view the list along with the PDF explanation for the each below. And also the second one is that there are currently no restrictions in the number of kits that the traveler can bring into Australia. However, the Department of Home Affairs recommended to bring only like a small amount of the kit because of the the requirement as well, and also because of the the local government guideline. So for example, I think like 5 to 6 would be plenty of that. And also the third one is, it is actually highly recommended that any traveler check the TGA website link above or contact the TGA prior to travel to ensure that the test is still approved, or you can contact with your IDP local counselors team for any other restriction that may have been implemented or lifted. So I have already also put it the phone number for you. So this is the national helpline, and also there's an email address for your further information if you want to inquire further information. And we are aware that the rapid antigen tests are out of stocks at some of the places, but the government has been restocking, as per the latest news, to reduce that and also to ensure that all students actually don't have the stress about this. So once you have arrived in Australia, please be assured, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact IDP Australia onshore team, and we will be able to advise you. So be cautious when you travel if you cannot get the kit test. So you need to just stay back at home and get it done later. And please remember, once you arrive at the airport, you can contact IDP onshore office for further support if you're not sure about the regulation, and then we will be able to advise you. And also the next thing I'm going to talk about is what to pack and expect. So there are a few steps about that. So first of all, obviously you need to check your eligibility and also to see the updated travel and quarantine requirements. And also the second step is that you need to ensure that you have a vaccination certificate that meets the Australian government's requirements. And the third thing is to complete a declaration form, which is the ATD form. And I know that some of the states, they may have different forms as well. So please refer back to the link that I previously showed on the slides. And also the step 4 is you need to show the pre-departure COVID-19 test with a negative test result. And finally, then you can just present the required travel documents at the airport. So for further information, please have a look at the link below. There's a really detailed information about that. So for further information, like I said before, please just check with our IDP offshore, like Sri Lanka office before you travel to Australia, and also follow the government rules and law. Our IDP offshore office is also going to launch the pre-departure section, and then they will be able to provide you more detailed information for the pre-departure. And meanwhile, our IDP onshore team also prepare a welcome pack to help you settle down in Australia. So once you arrive in Australia, please contact us and we will be able to assess you. Yeah, that's pretty much from my side. Back to you, Amrita.
Thank you so much, Summer. So hopefully that information will help you to understand what to pack and expect. But if you do have any more questions, feel free to ask in the chat box, as Thanuk mentioned. Let's move on to the next part. Thank you, Summer, about the working rights. So over to our migration expert, Alice.
Hi, good day, everyone. It's very nice to be here with you today. My name is Alice. I'm a senior migration agent in IDP Melbourne office. My specialization including temporary and permanent skilled visas. So basically, all the visas that you can think about in your future that you want to apply, I can help you. Myself, I came to Australia 19 years ago as an international student. So I've been through all the pathway that you thinking. So I be able to help you, and I know what's the trouble and the difficulty that you're looking for. So the student, I'm just talking about a little bit about the student visa fee application rebate. So this rebate just announced recently, about last week. So the minister said to assist with Australia COVID-19 recovery that Australian government is providing the incentive for student visa holders to return to Australia as soon as possible to help address the current workforce shortages, which means for any of you, if you are currently outside Australia and thinking to come back, you are eligible for this rebate if you can return to Australia before 19th of March 2022, and you will be eligible to apply for the refund of the application fee that you paid, which is $630. And the application for refund will open in coming days, so please stay in tune. And you will have until the end of this year to submit the refund application, so you have plenty of time. But just to be catch up and reminder that you must return before 19th of March to be eligible for this rebate. Okay, let's go to the next page. So I'm just give a little bit information about work right. So the good news is that the temporary relaxation of the work hours for student visa holders in Australia, that most of the students, if you consider that you want to work in Australia, this is a good news to you, that the temporary arrangement that the student visa holder work right cap, which used to be the 40 hour per fortnightly, this cap has been removed in order to help to meet Australia labor shortage. So if you arrive in Australia now, then you can work full-time without any restrictions. That's the temporary regiment, and the department will review this measure in April. So please stay in tune for any updates. So let's go back to the student visa condition as usual. So what if the student that the department, after this temporary relaxation, when everything back to normal, this is the condition that you're facing. So the student visa holders cannot engage any work in Australia before commence of the study, and you cannot engage work in Australia for more than 40 hours per fortnight during any fortnight when you study and the training is in session. And the fortnight means a consecutive period of 14 days commence on Monday. So give you an example. So in week 1, you work for 15 hours, and week 2, you work for 25 hours, and week 3, you work for 20 hours, and week 4, you work for 10 hours again. So you still block the condition. The reason is week 2 plus week 3 is more than 40 hours. So you need to keep in mind, if the department decide everything back to normal, the cap in place, then you need to follow the restrictions. And there is an exception that if you are enrolled as the master degree by research or doctor degree, and the course is commons, and you are holding a student visa because of that course, then you can work full time. And the other exception is that you have practical part in your degree, which means in some degree that you actually have to work in hospital or in aged care, like nursing courses, to be able to pass the placement. That's part of the requirement of the degree. So during that period, the cap is not applicable to this situation. Let's go to the next page. This is the information about the 485 visa. So most of you will be applying for this visa once you complete your degree or a diploma in Australia. So the temporary graduate subclass 485 visa is a work visa open for international students who completed 2 years of study in Australia, and it lasts between 18 months to 4 years, depending on your situation. It is a very good way to extend your stay in Australia to improve your chance to become eligible for permanent or provisional skilled visa. So this, the visa that very helpful. So for bachelor, including honors, enable a graduate apply for a two-year 485 visa. For master degree by coursework and by research, the visa will last for 3 years, and for doctor degree, it will last for 4 years. And for the student who studied in regional campus in Australia, will get additional chances to apply second 485, which lasts 1 to 2 years if you can meet the requirement. And if you are applying undergraduate work stream, the visa length has been temporarily raised from 18 months to 24 months. And the requirement for you to nominate an occupation from the skilled occupation list has temporarily been removed from July this year. And this measure will be in place for 2022-2023 financial year. The other requirement, including the English requirement, the English requirement is the same for both streams. It is IELTS overall 6 with no part less than 5. And both streams will require you to meet Australian study requirement. And the graduate stream has additional requirement that all the courses that you have studied must be closely related to each other. And the post-study workstream requires that you must complete a degree in Australia, whereas the graduate workstream can accept certificates, diplomas, and the degrees. And that's all from me, and I'll pass back to Amrita.
Thank you, Alice. So that's our information related to recent work visas, which is great. Again, Australian government is supporting our students with full-time work rights. And then obviously with the fees rebate, so please keep it in mind, contact IDP Sri Lanka office, make an application. Visa process is quite fast, so you might be able to get into the intake. And that's information for your post-study work visa. Again, once you arrive on shore, you finish your study, you will be eligible for this. If you need more information, IDP Onshore will be able to support you with the visa extension and application for 485. Let's move on to the next one. Thanks, Alice. Overseas Health Cover Services. So I'll pass this one to my colleague Neetu to cover that
Thanks,
part.
Amrita.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Neetu.
Amrita. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys staying safe. My name is Neetu, and I'm the Sales and Operations Manager for Sydney Parramatta offices. But before becoming a manager, I have actually worked with IDP for around 10 years as an education counselor. So whoever is coming to Sydney, I welcome you all to come and meet me in office in Sydney or in Parramatta, wherever you find it be easier to come. So these two offices are basically located with a distance of around 50 kilometers as in from each other. So yeah, a lot of subcontinent students do reside near to Parramatta area basically. And I have my working days between two of these offices. So yeah, I welcome you all to come and see us if you want to. Let's talk about overseas health insurance services. Most of you, you all actually have to purchase overseas health insurance services when you are securing your student visa as well as your admission with Home Affairs. Meeting your student visa requirements, obviously it wouldn't be done without your health insurance. Health insurance services providers are basically Allianz, Bupa, Medibank, AHM, and NIB. They all has kind of very similar services. 90% of the services would be the similar, and they would be covering 100% on your MBS for GP consulting if you are going to consult a GP. Cover for your private and public hospital for the emergency room fees and emergency ambulance, and 85% cover for MBS for pathology and radiology testing. But for COVID-19 testing, 100% rebate basically. There is a hotline for coronavirus health information, which is 24 hours active. So you can actually go to those, and there are the numbers provided for each of the health insurance providers, basically. I must say Allianz, Bupa, Medibank, these all are the leading ones in terms of like providing the supreme benefits to the students when you are studying as an international student. Next, please, Summer. Okay, moving towards accommodation support. Many of you would be booking your accommodation as in like temporary, or maybe after coming to Australia, you'll be moving to a permanent accommodation. So basically universities do have their own campus accommodation as per your suitability. They have different kind of accommodations on their campus itself. Other than that, there are few of these accommodation opportunities. So which are located, I think, pretty much in each and every state. Urban Nest, Unilodge, Igloo, Journal Student Living, they all very close to the university campuses. Basically, the way they've been made are very, very much accessible to the university campus, or otherwise the transportation would be very, easy to the university campuses, basically. So yeah, so you can approach to either of those, or you can actually approach to IDP and we would assist you if you need to go ahead with that. One of the points I would want to highlight here, which one of the student who has recently come from Bangladesh to Australia, she shared with us basically about her landing to Sydney airport, and then she had to make her own arrangement in terms of like from airport to her accommodation in city CBD area, and she could not find any cab or so. So guys, maybe keep some sort of options, make these arrangements beforehand, but I would want to let you know about the other commuting options for you. So every international airport basically has a train link adjacent to it. So if you are getting down and then you are having any sort of troubles, usually you should not have any sort of troubles in terms of finding a cab, but somehow the student had the problem. So there is train station very close by to the airport, and you would be able to go up to there and can catch the train, and then that can actually take you to the city point from where you would be having access to any of the suburbs you might be opting to go. Next one, please. Career support. I'm very pleased to announce that IDP Australia offices has recently launched virtual internship program for our international students. It is very beneficial to the students. The internship is basically for up to 12 weeks, and it increases your chances of employability and work visa options. You get guaranteed internship placements like for all students. So regardless of whichever field, business, IT, engineering, whichever field or health sector you're coming from, you would be able to have an access to these internships. Basically, you have to fill a small form through IDP website, and that would take you further with the further guidance would be given to you from there. And these internships are remote. There is no need for yourself to worry about visas, or if the internship is happening in any other different country, you don't have to worry about the travel bans and all stuff. All you need just yourself and equipped with your laptop, and you have access to 5,000 plus host companies within 70 countries overall. You would have direct access to virtual internships award-winning Career Bridge curriculum. There is a particular mentor who would be mentoring you every week, like letting you know about your performance, how you're going every week. And so we call it dedicated internship coach. And this work experience basically will comfort you only from your home. It depends on you how many hours you want to choose per week, 10 hours, 20 hours, or 30 hours. So yeah, so please explore more through the link provided here. On this, the price for this internship is very effective, $1,600 something, whereas the universities also do offer the similar internship with the similar company itself, but with a higher price. But for IDP students, it's one of the very well priced program basically. This internship program can help you in many ways, paving your way further because when you have completed your studies in Australia, and then upon completion of your studies, you need some sort of work experience. Like if we talk about IT basically, so ACS would get the students' qualifications assessed only if you have up to 1 year work experience in Australia. So if you've done this sort of internship, it would help you to pave your way further, as in for postgraduate students, particularly now when they have the advantage of getting up to 3 years of post-study work visa, you would be able to easily gain the work experience with the employers for a longer time period. So yeah, please explore. Thank you. That's from me, Amrita. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Neetu. Thank you very much. So now you are students from Sri Lanka. Now you know that most likely you will have insurance because you applied for the visa or applying for the visa. And that insurance, as Neetu mentioned, covered most of the parts. So again, don't worry. And again, we have team onshore, dedicated team who can support you with health insurance information as well. And lastly, as Neetu mentioned, virtual internship program. Again, something really, really helpful to our international students once you arrive onshore during your study or while you finish your study. This is something you can enroll in. To know more, we will be able to provide you more information once you arrive onshore. Thank you. Let's move on to the last part, and I will hand it over to Zoe, who will talk about a bit about online shopping resources. So once you arrive, if you cannot go out, what are the resources you can refer to? Over to you, Zoe.
Thanks, Sam. So yeah, guys, if you guys are looking at online shopping, we have quite a few stores here. We have the Woolworths, we have Coles, where you can get affordable items at lots of variety as well. And we have Aldi, that's an option. And I think with Uber Eats, almost all of you would have used it in the pandemic. This is saving us. So we have Uber Eats, we have quite a lot of those online apps as well that help you with shopping. So we'll go to the next slide now. Next slide, please.
So yeah, I will invite Vaishali to cover this part as well. Yeah, thank you.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Zoe. Thanks, Amrita. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Hope everyone is fine. My name is Vaishali. I'm based in Melbourne. I work as an education counselor. So when you arrive in Melbourne, you're going to see me, Summer, and my team. I think Zoe has already covered the online shopping, which was the most exciting bit. Yes, everyone loves to do shopping. So there are links included next to the store's name. So please download, look into that. I would strongly recommend you to download Uber Eats link. Maybe Amrita, if you can go to the previous slide once. Yeah, if you see Uber Eats, that's an online food order app. I think you should download that because when you arrive in Australia, you might need to order food. So that's an easy way to go. Can we move on to the next slide, Amrita? Thanks. Then we move to the pharmacy. The biggest and the most popular ones are the chemist warehouse and Priceline. You will find all kinds of medicines and over-the-counter medicines. For example, if you're sick, unable to book doctor's appointment, and you need something urgent, you can visit those pharmacies and talk to them for temporary relief medicines. So you see chemist warehouse, you see Priceline pharmacy. Two are the most popular ones. So please look into that. Download their apps, which will be very useful. Can we move on to the next slide, Amrita, please? Yeah, this is the most important part. When you arrive, when you land in Australia, you will receive a marketing email from our team. So do not forget to come and visit your local IDP office, collect your welcome pack, which includes SIM card, which is very important when you come to Australia, pharmacy vouchers. You also have IDP migration support, and you can avail 20% off on our migration services, sanitizers, face mask, plus grocery vouchers, which will help you to settle in your initial days. Come meet us, do share your contact details, update your local address and contact number with us, and do introduce yourself to the team. Thank you all from my side, and yeah, back to you, Amrita.
Thanks, Vaishali. So as Vaishali mentioned, that keep a note of those online links we have given, and then obviously this welcome pack. Once you arrive on shore, you will receive an email from our side, and this pack can also be accessed virtually. So that'll be fine as long as we have your updated email address and phone number. So thank you so much. Let's move on to the last part. Over to you, Zoe.
Thanks, Sam. So hi, everyone. Again, we've launched our most important thing, and that's the IDP Study Abroad app. So this is aimed at all of the international students around the world. And with this app, we can easily track, we can filter, compare all the study abroad options that we have here in Australia. So it's definitely a must-have, available across Android, across iOS. So you should be able to download it with no fuss. We obviously found that there was a desire among students to know what's happening with the application, what the status is like. So in response to that, this app was created. So you actually get the real-time application status update. You get advice, you get guidance from students, from counselors who've done this before, as well as specific to your stage of journey where you are sitting at the moment. And I would say the most exceptional part about this app is that it connects our community of students together with not just each other, but also with expert counselors, with institutions to assist you on your journey. So you get the updates, you can find the local counseling offices around you, you can track the application statuses, receive ongoing guidance, support. The app also has plenty of articles, it has videos. So if you want to know about scholarships, if you want to know about funding options, if you want to know how to write a statement of purpose, it could be anything. It could be just preparing for IELTS, student visa requirements, so plenty more. So I would say it provides prospective students with up-to-date answers as well to all questions. So it's definitely exciting. So go ahead, guys, and download this app. It's definitely going to be very useful in your student journey. Can you go to the next page slide? Thank you. Yeah, so this is the most exciting part. We've got our events. Next slide. Yeah. So we have a Welcome Day event that's happening on the 19th of March, as Amrita told you initially at the beginning of the presentation. So this Welcome Day is specifically to invite our new students who've just arrived in Australia and to say hi to them. So we've got a page here that has a list of all the cities and what's happening in the cities for the students. Go to the next slide, please. Yep, so we've got Adelaide first. We've got the Popeye Cruise tour there. We've got Brisbane, where we have the beautiful botanic gardens. You can have lunch there. And remember, guys, this is a free event. So all of these events are free. So definitely something you can go for. We've got Melbourne. You have a beautiful Great Ocean Road trip there. With Perth, we're still deciding what we want to be doing. But there's definitely going to be something there as well. So watch out on our IDP page and our Facebook page for that to come up. Sydney has the gorgeous Harbour Cruise, something you definitely don't want to miss. So go ahead and register for that as well. So yeah, definitely very exciting, guys. And it's all happening on the 19th of March. Head to our registration page. You've got the QR code as well. And once you've registered, you'll get an email about what's going to be happening next. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so these are some of the things that we keep doing on an ongoing basis, and we've done before, and we will be doing in future as well. We've had a beautiful barbecue catch up in Melbourne. We've had the Education Expo that happens every year, most of the time twice a year in Australia, in all of the offices. We have cultural festival celebrations for all sorts of cultures, religions. So that's very exciting. We had a touch of Australian animals where we had animals from the zoo in Brisbane. This was the welcome day that happened, I guess, a few years ago. And then we've done apple picking, cherry picking. We've had a Blue Mountains trip across Australia. We've done movie night events with different universities as well, and that's been very popular. So yeah, I think you guys are definitely going to have a nice time when you come to Australia. So yeah, I guess just head to our events page on IDP's website and you'll be able to book for whatever you guys are interested in. Thank you so much. Over to you, Amrita.
Thank you, Zoe. And that's the last part of it. As Zoe mentioned, please do register for the welcome day once you arrive on shore. And then these are the details. If you would like to have counseling, any information once you arrive on shore, if you're stuck with anything, you can just book an appointment for virtual counseling if you cannot come to the office, and we will be able to support you after coming from IDP Sri Lanka. All right, so moving on to the last part, you can see our contact details there, phone number and email address. Please make a note of it, depending upon which state you're traveling to. Again, stay in touch so we can support you while traveling as well. Moving on to the last part. So again, follow us on social media and follow IDP Sri Lanka as well on the social media pages, because we do update information related to visa and travel quite frequently over there. We also prepared a dedicated landing page for you for students' reference to know about latest travel updates, and that's given on the right top corner, return of international students to Australia. So please do note down this link, and you can refer this link quite frequently. And that's all from our side. We also prepared a dedicated city guide on that link, so you can download that guide. That will have all the information related to where to eat, where to buy, where to rent house, where to buy a scooter or car, or any sort of information you require to settle down in the city. So that guide is very detailed. Feel free to download that guide over there. And lastly, yeah, we will be ready to welcome you. If you have any questions, you can pop that in the chat box now, and I will hand it over back to our Sri Lanka team. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrita. It was a lovely presentation by our team in Australasia, and it was great to have you all on board. I'm sure many students would have cleared their doubts today. Also, I would like to remind all students, if you're traveling for the first time, if you're not sure about what Australia is going to look like, don't worry, guys. We have a dedicated team for you all. You're not alone in that country. You just saw how much that we offer, apart from the services that we provide you in Sri Lanka. So thank you very much for joining, everybody. It was great having you. Please walk into our offices in Sri Lanka from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We are here to help you right from the scratch up until you get your visa, and that's not going to stop there. When you land in Australia, you have a dedicated team in Australia as well. So thank you very much, Amrita and the team for joining us today. There's one more question. Can I please get the link to the guide?
Link to the
guide.
Oh, link to the guide for sure. Yeah, I'll just share that link with you, Danook, and you can forward it later to the student. Let me just open that while we are talking. There was one more question around post-study work visa, Danook. Is that all clear, or do you want Alice to? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's another question. I think Sama has shared the link. Thank you, Sama. Hi, will there be any travel exemption for new students to enter Perth who have already got into the university and made payment?
Yeah, so if that's the new student, at the moment, we don't actually have a really confirmed information from the government yet, and even for the Western Australia state, but just feel free to have a look at the link website that we provided to you on the presentation. And then this web video is recorded as well. So please feel free to, have a look on the Facebook later to review the information. Yeah.
It'll be updated soon, yeah, because they just announced this morning with WA again that most likely they will allow international students. So it's already approved for return students, but for new students, we are still waiting for the information.
Great, thank you. So we will keep you posted on that as well. So for more further questions, you can contact us on our IDP office in Sri Lanka. Of course, we will work. We are very closely working with the team in Australia as well on what's happening over there, what developments are happening over there. And as I said before, keep repeating, we have a team in Australia as well to support you throughout. So thank you very much for joining us today, and have a good day, and have a good day, team in Australia. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Lanka.